found over the life you Jesus. Brighter morning star, only you I serve. Every day now you, I will pour my love on you. That's why when I wake in the morning, I sing my praise to you. In the night, oh, now you are the God, now you the rain, now you, oh. You be Baba, oh. And so it's salute. You be Baba, oh. Daddy, no one like you. You be Baba, oh. Oh, yeah,
good afternoon, folks. It's 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Afonso Zeyenso of the Liberia Public Radio, 10 LPR TV, to welcome you to this afternoon broadcast.
With my love, you alone, my Father, my sweet comforter, you are my defender. When praises go, your blessings come down. Oh, my Jesus, come receive my praise.
In the interest of African solidarity, taking you to the West African state of the Republic of Nigeria. That's Monica. We want to give in the hallelujah saluting, right?
No one like you.
We are in a consequential time, and so he's the only person that we can look up to on a daily basis to get us to survive. A lot is unfolding. We're going to take a pivotal discussion here this afternoon. Welcome. I'm Afonso Zeyenso.
Melody in my heart, this ready you I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Oh, yeah, follow me, thank you. Everybody. The peace like God.
What a beautiful song fading away right here on LPR. Very shortly, we're going to get this program going. I want to welcome all of my viewers and listeners across the globe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever you are. This is the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. This is the song that introduces the program to start and to go to an end. All right. Time is fast spent is 1:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to this talking point. This is not about we are. Well, we will be taking a discussion here. Perhaps this is something that you might not interest in, but LPR is always in the business to explore means and possibilities to remedy all of the problems confronting our nations and the world at large. Liberia is no exception. Well, so let us see here. We're going to be having this sort of discussion here. 18 days to go in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia for the May 10 senatorial election. But one thing that is not often heard from our politicians and stakeholders, even though they talk about the implementation aspect in terms of doing something to remedy the problem, it's not heard. So what is the problem? Well, a concerned Liberian, a mother, a lady, who has worked with people with a wide range of issues, especially when it comes to drugs abuse, is raising a red flag. But what is the reason that these politicians or those who are seeking state power or even national government from discussing this issue? They are existent, they are alive, they are visible, they are felt in community, in school, in our homes, and even here in the US. So why these people are not talking about it? Interestingly, why is 18 days to go? We just received information to one of the senatorial expiring in Moserado County, as according to source close to heart, and the letter that we have just received, has withdrawn from the senatorial race with a very succinct reasons and outline. I'm going to be getting to that, but let's get the conversation going. My guest is already here standing by. Stay tuned. I'm Afonso Zeyenso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPRO TV. 18 days to go in Liberia. Donald Trump is still there at the bungalow in the West Wing and still not giving security briefing to Joe Biden. What the heck is going on in this troublesome world? It's almost remind me of the conversation yesterday. Is it the end time? The godfathers of democracy now is kicking the can down the road. Stay tuned.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Love is all we need to make it stand. This is the time to come together. Keep Liberia safe forever. So open up your heart and let the unity begin. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's cultivate one another. Learn to live together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have a peace of mind. Unify and have a peaceful. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Keep it standing. This is the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, this land of liberty is our home. Let us hear.
The Republic of Liberia, Africa, odious, one of the odious republic. Oh man, but a lot is unfolding. Let me bring my guest here now to keep her boat. There she is, Mrs. Christiana Wilson is joining me in here, making the first appearance on the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Mrs. Wilson, good afternoon. Welcome to this outlet, and thank you for sharing your Thursday afternoon with us.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Mr. So I'm privileged, I'm honored to be on your show. Very interesting. I don't just appear places, but because you have the heart for Liberia, so I decided to participate. Thank you for the privilege. I'm honored, sir.
And I want to say thank you so much for your courage, for your resilience to make yourself available. This is something most people don't find doing. And we want to have our sisters, our mothers, our women to involve into society. It's not going to be a bystander because there's a saying that says ignorance of a law is no exception. So whether you participate, you don't participate, whatever happens, you will be either the victim of the victor of this discussion here. But again, thank you so much, and let's have the conversation going. Okay, introductions is not one of my favorite because you quickly leave good pieces of information behind. So I always like to throw the ball right to you here to just briefly introduce yourself to my audience, and we will get a conversation going.
I'm Christiana Angel Wilson. My parents are Charles Buyard. He was Johnson before, and now he changed to Buyard. My late mother was Esther Nimlen. My father from Nima, somewhere they call Babli, somewhere in Nima County. I've been there once. Babli district. They were my father from, but the Johnson ready. And they migrated from Ivory Coast to that later part of Nima County. There are not many, but they have voices in the land. Bishop Nathaniel Zawe, we are two brothers' children.
What a small world we live in. Are you kidding me?
If you know Peter Kamwe, Maron, we are all one family. Jesus. But unfortunately, I grew up with my mother, but my father was accompanied through but he took on 1979 to his family, and we know that we have a family and we are together.
Wow.
My mother is Esther Nimlen. She's a Sapo crude woman. She crude, but her mother Sapo, and she's stationed in Nomopro, her family in Nomopro, Sano County, my late mother. I was born in Bon Mines. graduated, went to Bassa Timish, went to Beaumont School. From there, I came down, went to Bassa Timish, went to Heston, where I got pregnant at an early age. So when it comes to abuse, I would say something about abuse.
Of
I
course.
went to Heston, and when I met George Weir, I was a prefect in 9th grade. So we have Philipson Nimne, Bernice Diva, we have Patrick, Madetta Davis. I can name 10 or 15 of our classmates. So George Weir knows me well.
You are a prefect for now, the second president.
I was a prefect. I was a prefect. I made him to beat him in 9th grade. He put his shoe on the desk when he played for Motion Congress. Black and white shoe, I made him beat him. He know I hate boss. I hate prefects. I was a prefect. And from that, I went to Memorial Central High, where I graduated. God bless all were 4 girls that graduated past national exam. I read the proclamation on behalf of Samuel Kayando. I got a scholarship from Otero Gonga. I went to National Clerical School from the University of Liberia. I got married in 1994. I've been married 26 years with 4 beautiful children. My husband is J. Tabla Wilson. I work with Liberian refugee repatriation for 9 years. I was the first female supervisor on the Wedding Cobra Rare. Then I left due to my hard work in the field. I was asked by the resident representative for Lutheran World Service to come and manage a camp of 27,000 IDP. So I work with United Nations. I work with UNICEF. I work with World Vision. I work with most of the NGO as camp manager. And when people come BBC and other people CNN, they will interview me. I couldn't believe that a woman will manage a camp of 27,000. Then I left with UN, with Lutheran World Service DDR program. In Cary, where I was the assistant manager, we were able to demobilize over 12,000 ex-combatants. Day and night we work from 8 in the morning to 10 p.m. From there, I went to Bang and we work under the all-male DDR program. I left and came back as protection officer, where I represented Lutheran World Service in Porto Alegre, Brazil. I went Finland, I went Netherlands, I went Ghana, I went Senegal under the UNFDA project, and I did training, and I conducted training, and I participated in a lot of international workshops. I went to Red Cross lately, and I worked there for like 4 years. I was the coordinator for tracing service under the ICRC. So while I played a role as a social worker, pastor, I was in Remedy Church on the airfield for like 7 years. I served as pastoral assistant. That I was called to do after a 10-tire truck with 250 vehicles hit me and rolled over me. So then I established an NGO, Courageous People Incorporated. If you go on Facebook, you will see that. And we started working with young men and women on drugs, prostitute on drugs. So the burden came to me when I was with DDR 2004. That as did a concept paper, but I felt that establish an NGO was so big. Then after some time, 5 years ago, we've been working in graveyards, cemeteries, all over. If you ask anybody now, they will say we know murder from Kiri Street, Buchanan Street, Brewerville, and what have you. So my daughter got seriously sick, and we came to the States. We're in Ghana for 2 months. We came to the States, and I'm here. But my heart is in Liberia, and I have worked in over 100 plus villages in Liberia.
Wow. Okay, Mrs. Wilson, I want to say thank you first and foremost. This is a clear indication that you are a handbag present, well-equipped, well-informed, and you have all right and every Liberian citizens to discuss the challenges I face in our country. And this is a sort of discussion, conversation I like to take on because I see the politicians in Liberia. I yet to see the serious one, be it the government or the opposition, because they are not taking the bottom to top approach. They are trying to salad dress thinking that's not a solution to the problem. Well, with this yet, you're going to help me out here, and I hope this will not going to be the last one. Drugs abuse. There are people listening to us. You work with LCCC, responsible repatriations of refugee, relocations, and all of that. is challenging to protection officers. What have you observed during all of that time and take into consideration what is unfolding right now? Is the government, are the people of Liberia, stakeholders, not just on the government, NGO, are they addressing the plight? Because that is another pandemic and nobody seems to talk about it. They're talking about one to go to Capitol Hill.
Okay, thank you for that question. It all started those days when we're on the Capitol bypass. I grew up on Capitol bypass, right behind G.W. Gibson School. And when you see the police coming to raid people, they were only for opium or marijuana in the 80s. Then the war came. Who brought in the war? I was seeing old leaders today. They brought the war and they brought drugs. The children associated with fighting forces or the women associated with fighting forces, ex-combatant, male and female, were not brave enough. You know, Liberians don't have a strong heart to hold arm. The only reason why they could get an arm was to give them part of drugs to take. That was the secret. If you talk to some of the commanders that we work with, I have those people testimonies and I have their autobiography and I have information that they gave me that I cannot release here. Most of the people you see in government call themselves so-called senator, representative, what have you, they use drugs to win votes. These guys took arm. They were not brave to cut women's stomach. They were not brave to kill anybody. Liberians don't have your heart. But they gave them drugs. And that's how you saw the various checkpoints, people slaughtering people. And they know them because when during the DDR process, we wrote, and UN have that information today. I came 2016 in Washington, D.C., I did a presentation. And at the appropriate time, we will go and testify. UN have that information today of most of our leaders you see passing around in cars in Kosu. I call them demons in Kosu. They brought drugs in Liberia. And they use other nationals, like the Nigerians, the Lebanese, the Fulanese. I can carry you to shops right on Broad Street and in Broadway where the people sell drugs. And you know why? The police were and everybody aware. I wanted to see my face because Sodo knows me well. We grew up on bypass together. He know my name to be CR. They are not doing nothing when it comes to drugs. During the DDR process, when we're getting testimonies from the guys, they told us boldly that the people, big names in government, in the previous government, even Charles Taylor and his boys, big names in government use drugs to give them arms. And they use the arms to kill innocent Liberians. And who they were killing? Our own brothers, killing our own mothers, sisters, daughters, fathers. And how they became uncontrollable. They became a nuisance in society. And we gave them the name Zogo. After the DDR process, we took the testimony in tears. I have video of women confessing, prostitutes that they collected and raped, and today they are prostitutes because they have lost their self-esteem. These women were raped. During the DDR process, United Nations came with everything, the expertise, the money, and everything to do a rehabilitation, build rehabilitation centers, and also help Liberia build their lives, knowing very well that we are coming from a broken society. Unfortunately for us again, government, dealers, community dwellers, ourselves, never took advantage of that opportunity. They came, I was paid well. I was making over 1,500. I had my bosses from Lucho who were paying directly by United Nations. So we were making money. But notwithstanding, the money also came beside our salary to build rehabilitation center and to help.
And what happens?
We did proposals. We send it to UN. And those days before UN implements, they can consult government for the location of these centers. They can consult government to give them the expertise and advice. That money came, and they decided to put the children who are not ready. You can't take somebody that were on drugs for 10, 5, 12 years, and you put them in a center for 5 days. We bring them in the center. We give them orientation.
So
we give them
yeah, let me ask you, so on whose administrations are we talking about this? Talking about
it
now?
was chancellor administration. Then from there we moved to Helen Johnson Sirleaf. It was also Judy Bryan who really spoiled everything. Because for every time UN went to him, my boss man, Charles Fishford from Luchu Wasere, he was an ex or Marine here. So he knew everything about rehabilitation, all the concept paper. I have bosses today that work in government can attest today. We ran to UN ran to government. They had a DDRR center right and building right on or around UN building there. And today nothing was done when it comes to rehabilitation. That's just the cosmetic approach. You can't get somebody on jobs for 2 years, say sending them computer school. It will not work. You in the Western world, Mr. So it will never work. So that money went back to where it had to go. You ain't to take advantage of us because we're not ready. So whatever that came, we cry behind them, we walk behind them, and the government couldn't do anything. And you too, those days you want your life. You got to be careful. The bosses going to meeting. They're going to presidents, they're going to minister. Who are you, ordinary social worker, to dictate to them? I work with gender ministry. Fava Gabriel knows me well. We did a whole lot on protection issue.
So, Mrs. Wilson, this is quite fascinating from what I'm hearing here. Do we still have documents? Do we still have some of these proposals or those roadmap that were laid down by you and other folks here for national government that we have today to follow, or what? Anybody looking at it? Even if it is even there?
If it is there, you know, some of these things, when it comes to money, I want to do Newswa and all the guys, then we're looking around, we can't find them. When it comes to money, Liberian government, they lead us. Our so-called government officials, they will never get account. If I tell you, say, go to Luchu World Service, we close, the office closed because they mean work around emergency. And I go to Luchu Development Service. If you go there, you will get some information. But I will tell you that when it comes to the government, because they were holding the proposals, we understand proposals to them for them to agree and implement. We never wanted to implement. If they wanted to implement, fine. But we send a proposal to them. That government responsibility to give the sites for the rehabilitation center. That government is supposed to get the guys coming on the UN mission. They're making a 20,000 per month, 25,000, 15,000. They dare to tell you, we want to do this for you. You say, no, we carry to Sudan, we carry to Ethiopia. Well, we found that they will help. So we did it to ourselves. So they never show interest. I'm a witness. They never show interest in rehabilitation.
So when you say they never show interest, it is our own people, it is our government, it is our leader did not show the kind of interest to see these international organizations to intervene, correct?
Yes. I went to Brazil, Porto Alegre, World Council of Churches program. We did a lot of group work. I did presentation. And when it comes to, I went to Netherlands too. I was in The Hague. I worked with Red Cross there. We did a whole lot on women trafficking. I'm telling you that if at all you gave your proposal to people, how we got funded from Finchurch A to go all in the villages to work all in Liberia. How we started working with us international. Luchu World Service will get a proposal. They will come for the assessment. We do joint assessment. We get our strategy together. We get our law frame together. As we implement it, all they have to do, the expert, they look at you, and they work with you. They come, they do assessment, and they give you more money. But they allow you to help your own people. That's how you see Luchu World Service and Red Cross make great impact in Liberia. Now you couldn't force Liberian government. What rather discouraged me? Hedy called herself mother. I don't actually she's my mother. She everybody's mother. But to come and see the soil, the ground, and see people in the streets still begging. You see people living in graveyard. You see people living to the car park. You see people all behind the fence today, hijacking people, taking their bags, jacking people with. When you see the armed robbery on the increase in Hedy government, and she had a contact, Mr. So, Nobody had contact the heading. The Finn church women. I was working. I went to Finland. I tell you, no women, they had heading high esteem. Heading would never go in any country she asked for something, she didn't get it. And she never showed interest in rehabilitation.
Why you think she did that?
Because of the same thing, divide and rule. Thousands of our young generation going down the drain. If you educate the man and he know he read from wrong, I got my 18-year-old daughter finishing high school. She already know all about protection issue, just from devotion and us lecturing. Nobody will just play on her. If Hedy, George Weah, Judy Bryant, Charles Taylor, they know very well that if at all you educate the people and you got a young man in school and they are educated, you think the group of people that are running behind, and the Thomas Father, they few days, Darius Dillon, thousands of young people, they will be wasting their time. Right in this country, you must say, you can see people running behind people. Donald Trump go, he gather you, he run a campaign, Joe Biden run a campaign, they finish when you everybody get in the car, they're gonna work. But now you go to Thomas Father, how people sitting there baking for bread. You go to Darius Dillon, offer people around there baking so they can give his vote.
So it seems to me, and I have said this over and over, these people, what they have done, they put themselves, they created a sort of artificial political elevation so that the young generation to be submission to them. With these organizations that you work with, it's no doubt that you work with people on an extreme. I was into refugees camp too as well, Sierra Leone, volunteer with Red Cross and there's other stuff. And we know the kind of people. We have the National Rehabilitation Commission. And this is what I've said. All of the 112 men and women, if not all, greater portion of them, they all have their rehabilitation. They want to rehabilitate people. And the question that comes to mind, what the heck are they getting that money from when we have extending institutions of government? Whether we trust the government or not, the government has our own baggage, no question about that. But that's the institution we're supposed to preserve so that tomorrow when Alfonso is no more senator, because if I'm not senator, I cannot keep up with that. You can have your own thing, but all of these things are conflict of interest, and our people do not get it. Why are they behaving the way they are behaving? And I see them moving around like a little chihuahua. They all want to be senator, they want to be representative when the process is not even transparent. I just do not see this process conducive. But I'm waiting to see at the end of the day, the deck and the tone that will come out to say, oh, the process is not fair. We're seeing what is ongoing right now. You serve as a prefect now of the president of the Republic of Liberia, George Weah. Mrs. Wilson, have you tried to reach out to the president with all your expertise to say, this is what I'm willing to do this to help you? You serve as his prefect for his class.
Some part of 2 years ago, I think when they started needed with that show, a big show, he went gather us, United Nations, they come in, they say, we see you struggling with your NGO, and they gather us at the entrepreneurship bidding. Patriots Rosie, because we work with Ombe Didi together, they were coordinating our program. They said, we need some strong people like you, Ministry of Health. Brother, we wasted gas. People gather all in entrepreneurship conference room. We start designing strategies. We started planning. We started doing concept paper with UN. I said UN was showing so much interest again, especially UNICEF and UNDP. The woman said, I'm going to give her the money. After we went to entrepreneurship, almost 2-3 months working like crazy people. They said, John, we are I was so excited, brother, because I said the woman, she a foreigner. Maybe if the husband not interested in rehabilitation or you're not educated, he will withdraw. Brother, that thing is there today. Entrepreneurship is there. I think you know who we had in entrepreneurship? That he campaign, he relations manager, he prayer man, the champion. We go over there, the men are novice. The men are novice. We're talking something. That Patrick was sister were pushing our whole proposal. We go to entrepreneurship. And what a guy, and he not even die again. Mr. To, Jimmy To. All these smart guys, we start working together. Everybody was so excited. Brother, I downloaded picture. I get to post some information. The only thing I heard back, some sensitive information and video. But I gave them some information that if they wanted us to start, even with the first bidding of 20%, the person they have bidding on the highway, they located bidding. I told them, I said, I already got 4,000 blocks. I got the land already. The only thing I want y'all to do for me, y'all just help me. We have sponsors, we're feeding them. Go on the patient see. We have other restaurant people started supporting us. We cry. We cry. We cry. Many days I left from El Trip, I was just shaking my head. And my husband would tell me, say, you know you're wasting your time. These people that they're not ready. They're not ready. They're not ready. George, we are not ready. Thomas Father not ready. Darren, we are not ready. How long it take the community people to start? A patriot student ready today, Mr. So. You think they can get in a truck and go down the fence and scatter it? They can't go to Spinner Building and scatter it. They can't go to Broadway Graveyard and scatter it. You want to tell me, say, all the drugs leader in town, they need to challenge me. What you want proof? And I will see them. One time disguise myself, brother. Top police officer going the graveyard to meet drugs dealer. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. They trying to tell me, they say, mother, just wait around, you will see. I waited and I saw. What a disgrace. Because why? They're getting the money. Just got money, your brother. Fast money. Don't children check your hand there, they go and buy drugs. Everything they wash car, they go and buy drugs. So the drugs dealer will sit and get 10,000 US within one day. While you and myself looking for salary. Honestly working. And they know them. They escort them from the airport. They know them. And we know them.
So this is quite interesting here. Are those places that harbor those drugs dealer, are they still existing as far as you are concerned? Are they still existing in Liberia today, you think?
What makes them to be comfortably seated? They are there. And we know them. The other one threatened me when I came in 2016. I told him, because beside me being a social worker, I'm also a pastor. I was a pastoral assistant in one of the churches, but I don't put that title on me. I don't even let it to my pastor business, because what happened, if you can't reach all, the church too have not done nothing much. If you're not reaching all, you're just taking time, you're just taking offering, and you're not helping nobody, I'm not impressed. So you see me, I prefer being an evangelist, where I will go talk to people one-on-one, than to say, you say now on puppet, and the people bringing, the church not even doing anything. Let me be fair with you, brother. The one of the richest organization in Liberia are the churches. The churches are rich. You sit down and you just get tired and offering from the people just appreciating the word.
But the days of Makala Francis and all of those people, they had their own little hidden agenda. But the traditions of the church today is kind of very unusual to see church. These are the one to intercede, to pray on behalf of the nation. But now they are giving political anointment to politicians. It's quite amazing.
Brother, when I saw it, I think I laughed. Reason why I laugh, because the Bible says the kingdom is divided, and the horse divided against itself cannot stand. If at all, we used to take buses and carry the children to church. You go on the page, you see us feeding them. But how many persons, only few friends were in the church that are there to encourage me. If at all, you go and anoint a representative, and you know very well the men have not done nothing when it comes to drugs, the school are private institution. I pay my children school fee in Lakere, and they benefited. Why they giving my children education, we pay school fee. So you can't tell me, say Thomas Father get school, that why you anointing him? I was so discouraged. The way you wish Calvin Kings and not that why discourage me, because you're a woman of God too, and instead of making fuss with them, but she said some things that really make sense. Why will you anoint a man? There are two persons running on two of them, they are Christian. The other man may not be rich like the other man, and you know the source of them men riches. He didn't inherit it. I tell you for free, there is no rich man in Liberia. George Weah was never rich. The horse on 17th Street, if you are entered it those days, you're not rich. One of my friends, they were having party and we went there. Way back, he not rich. That they feel that he acquiring wealth. All the poor that in George Weah government, nobody rich. No rich man in Liberia.
from conversation here, it seems that President Weah knows you very well. You said, and there are some commonalities because I went to Basel Team H, Dave Tate, Phyllis Sawyer, they are all my schoolmates. Basel Team H is my ages. It's my former school as well. So have you tried to reach the president? Does he know that all of these things here? Was he aware all of the meetings that were going on at LRRC when his wife came? Is he aware? Is he aware that you are the president oneself as his prefect? You should have a direct link with him. That's what friends are for. You guys sat in the same class. You were the head of the class.
Let me tell you something. George, we are left for to worship him. And let me tell you, brother, for free. I went to the University of Liberia. I got my international training. I know what God have taken me from. Between you and I can never worship. I told everybody, classmates, whosoever that taught me, I said, I will never worship Joya. Let me tell you what happened. It is something I can't remember. But right before the heat of the war, my man sent me Raleigh Market about things, and George Weah playing football. Everybody went around George Weah. Though that in Western were classmates. And our sponsor was Sylvester Johnson.
Western.
Yeah, Western.
What's up? My school heart and taught me how every time we go play there, some kind of way by the time you go low, we are or no number.
When I sent her and taught me how, man, I didn't believe. Western, the woman told me straight, she said, you're too smart. You can't graduate from this school. You cannot leave from here. And I went to Central High. And I didn't regret it. Well, only 4 that passed national exam. If I stayed at Western, what they were doing with George Weah, and he just going through Lela.
Do you have
there? George Weah left a point to honor him, worship him.
Let me ask
during our process. Let me just answer your question. They came to me, Rennie Battle, the head for CDC in the County at the time of George Weah camping. They came to me, 2004, Yafa Baffin, Central Wardrobe. These are strong sedition that they push on the Saturday. They came to me and talked to me. They said, you got power, we see charisma in you and you have voice. We would like for you to join CDC. I tell you.
And what did you say?
I tell you. I told him, I said, what I'm seeing here now, I can't jump political party. And for true, those days I was making money, I was working and all of that. I said, I can't jump political party. If you need my expertise, anything that will bring joy to my people, say joy, we are a people person, I won't mind. But guess what? The people that went in CDC, the real founding member of CDC, most of them left in tears. George, we are now. You go to him with news. You say, Mr. Soul like this. You will accept it and you will become an enemy for life. I'm sitting down on Kerry Street. We have food out there to serve the people. Fina Bono then came, they say, George, we are visiting. I sat down in my seat. George, we are not God for everybody to run to. So when they came, they slowed down. I organized the boys in our task force and everybody. I say the president coming to visit. I want you to say this. I want you to say that. More of you will do it. I say, yeah, you know, I'm not important. Even though during the campaign, I told you, I say I prefer commies, but if you want to vote for Weah, no problem. Because what I see, I will not vote for Weah. I've never voted for him. I don't pretend, Mr. So if I for you, I'm for you, I'm not for you, I'm not for you. I say I cannot vote for Weah. I don't know commies, but I prefer giving commies my vote. Because why? He's knowledgeable, he's educated, and he has international contact. Like, oh, but if you want to vote for him, or if you look on some other picture, I encourage them to vote and they got a voting cards in their hand. George Weah came for Finabando came, they came and introduced themselves. The player was sitting down right on Buchanan Street to the car wash. She saw me. I named a community in Brewerville today. Finabando got marshal in that community. That community couldn't complete their house for years. If you ask for Christy, put a community opposite Power College, I name that community. She knows me. She heard my name. And when John Weah slowed down, he saw me. He said, you're not getting down. He told the convoy to go. The children started yelling, running behind him. Then they came to me, they said, mother, are you the man saw? Because the security said, he told them, say that woman there, you know her. And how he passed, he went. And I laughed.
Is there anything personal that didn't go down, maybe from the World Health Stunt with you and now the sitting president?
World Health Stunt, he played for Muslim Congress. They gave him the money. I don't know, he went to a rare shoe store, where he went those days. But man came and put his phone on the desk. black and white shoes. So I put his knee down. I put his knee down. What on the sponsor? She know, oh, Mommy Pepper, Sylvester Johnson, and she beat him. Salisa or Bernice Diba or Salisa sister or Felicia Nimne or my whole school, everybody know the story. So for him to be a superstar those days, that doing research, everybody running behind him, I can't run behind him. And I never admire him to this day. To him, I'm his enemy, but I'm not his enemy. I've empowered myself, go first.
Because you were the prefect and you hired because he put his legs, according to you, put his legs on the table, which is maybe against. I mean, nobody does that. Nobody can do that. Do you think that's what he took to hard against you?
To me, to this date, a job we assist me, he knows me. One thing about he got retentive memory. He knows me to be Sierra. He knows me to be a prefect. And that inferiority complex, why they get on my prefect, she made them to be me. But it's not about me being a prefect those days. That were the rules. You know, those days, we all went to correct high school and we had discipline. Not like this time, the children buying grades to graduate. So ever all your the class, they stabbing and everybody knocking the desk because he brought one new shoe in the class, I got ready to put her knee down. And they beat him. They beat him. The woman, Sylvester Johnson, she never had time. Once she was a disciplinarian. But she advised me, she said, the school is for the children graduate, don't graduate from here, and all of that.
You know, it reminds me of you know, it's some sort of Glan school too. May her soul rest in peace. The 86 those days here, and when they brought the late Madam Rosetta Harris from GW Gibson, because the behavior of High student, because of our behavior. Let me be part of it. This is a maroon that we all used to wear. Now Minister Famulet, a lot of those good folks, Michael Gilmore, all of those folks here. Rosetta Harris came into school. Everybody, where men went that they could not handle people, but that lady was such a disciplinarian, and she really brought back the pride of that institution. But there seems to be, and other people that are looking at it will say, well, Mrs. Johnson, so you have now adjudicating now the president. Well, this is what the children said, that you made a follower, Mr. President, or why, or we at the time you were president, correct? You were president now? Yeah.
No, you are not president with classmates.
No, I mean when the convoy, when they went to...
You are president. I just came to the States 2 years ago. You are president.
So let me...
We heard the news. And Fina Bono was there. She went to prepare the ground for him. But he said you are not getting down for his car. And most of the people that visited the ground, everybody murder. Apparently when they say I want murder there and all of that, because God first, we did our best to put the children together. And he just, I don't know, maybe he expected me to run to the car to hold his shoes.
So
I don't know.
Other critical thinkers like me and other people will say, well, this is your session is based on what the kids told you. Did you go other further step to say, wait a minute, do you hear, or was there no way that you could reach him at all? Was that the case?
I was sitting and Fina Bono came with some other guys and they walk all in the shop and they talk to the lady that get the place and I was awesome. But in my mind, he was going to get down because they had prepared the ground for him. I had spoken to the children, everybody was together to welcome him. But I didn't know that the car pull up. Then they started saying, mother, that you saw and all of that. I said, what? But that's not the point. Because why he wave news off for over 2-3 months in El Chaparral building? Say she's going to rehabilitate the ex-combatant and some other guys and the prostitutes, some other guys are lying down in the street. So that's not the point. Even her wife, when she took all her money, they said he gave her a huge amount of money and they make us to work like crazy people. So that's not the point. He just wanted to pass through and he didn't expect me and all of that. I wanted to make news. But I'm not impressed, brother. As I said, government can, government go. Nobody expected Henny or Gerson to be hanging around today. Nobody expected Charles Taylor and his people. The great career do that ramen when she come here, everybody running to her. Today, you see Carrie Jed, a 3-year-old child. Nobody expect them to be hanging around. Nobody from government can post and say, yeah, I did this for my people. I'm going back to people.
I try to wrap this around my neck here. His history not telling because we went down this path here. And I'm seriously worried about the future. Just what, 3, 4? Today is what? Today is Thursday. Just last week. My 16-year-old daughter, 5 grown men went in the house, forcibly went into the house, Right now, as we speak, she's finding it very difficult. Every time I called, crying, the fear. And so this sort of armed robbery here and drugs, if you look at the history of drugs, people that own drugs, especially the illegal one, these sort of substance here, it makes them to be disoriented. They do not make informed decisions. And so when I look at the young generation today, politicians they stand behind this politician, who they screaming to yelling. They are very tireless. They're moving on. I'm not sure they are doing good favor to our country. So how many of these people you worked with before? What are some of, without prevailing the details, what are some of the things, Tara, that you went through, that you experienced because you work with these people?
When it comes to the drugs that in town, when it comes to Duji and all those kind of chemical they're giving them, calling it drugs. When the children take the drugs, I tell you for sure, when they haul that thing on the floor, and when they roll that fall, their whole thing turn black. After some time, if you go on YouTube, you'll see some video that I got there. They will go down and start sweating, and they will sit for some time, and I think going straight to their brain. So your daughter, apparently somebody were wearing all of them, they will start getting cool, and you see them trembling. By the time you find the politician, you see the armed robbers, and they can do anything to them. You say, you can't hear, I can get you something. Yeah, man, just coming for 500, they wanted to go back to smoke. Yeah, boy, those drugs and those armed robbers just enter your house because they wanted something to go back to the graveyard to smoke. I'm so sorry to hear this story, but I'm telling you that even the community leaders, our own selves, the parents, let me tell you a story. One day I was leaving Broadway going to town. My husband left me, I was on a motorbike. So then I ride motorbike from my house straight to Douala. So I was going to town and I just inhaled something funny around our junction. So I said, no, stop. The boss said, what happened? I said, stop. I entered your booth. I saw them smoking. I said, oh, you're smoking here? Opium? How they boot? Who get a boot? They said that that one Omao. I said, okay, I come in. I went straight, the motorboy turned around, went to the chairman of the community. I said, Mr. McCarthy, he said, yeah. I said, we have to get rid of your boot today. I canceled all my appointment with get rid of it.
For you to go in the bush to go to do a search.
No, the boot, B-O-O-T.
Yeah, okay. Why are you
smoking? I said, whole community. Yeah. I know where they got the opium from. And we told the person that had a boot. I said, if you don't break the boot down today, you go into the police station. Right there, I started calling the police because I had all of them number. And I had they said, oh man, sorry, we'll not break the boot down. Actually, man, from today, they made us send the opium. We're driving from our house, 1, 2, and we start selling coal. Today, they're selling coal in our boot. You know, our own people in the community, they are harming their children. They encourage the drugs dealer. Forget about government. If you get somebody in Conway, if you get 10 houses around there and drug dealers start selling to the children, the 10 houses can put together and bust that drug dealer house or burn a car and get angry. The people sit over there, the drug dealer drink, they come with them, put so much change in their pocket, and the whole generation going down the drain. So I'm so sorry for your daughter, but if we say we're waiting for this government.
The only good thing she was untouched, but as a matter of fact, right now the trauma is there, and I'm considering I want her to be having that. So, for now, with the situation, no way, because I haven't heard it myself, but they are saying people should find their own security, should buy whatever stuff here. So, most likely I have to resettle her to Ghana until I such a time. Are we coming to an end to this thing here? Is there any light at the end of the tunnel here? Is there any evidence seeing what is happening? See what is unfolding? You seem to frown on everybody, the president, the authority here. So who do we turn to?
There's a network in government. All those security apparatus, the government officials, they can't tell me say they don't know the drugs either. Those are threatening me those days. When we're going there, we're calling the children for counseling and we're having prayer with them. We're carrying them to church. Especially when we're putting them on the bus to go to the church. The judge did not come to me say, I'm carrying a customer to the church. And if I come back, they will deal with me. And after he said, except God didn't come in to do the work. And when I came to the States, I heard that the other one broke his legs. He couldn't walk. They stole his car. And when I went by, he started talking. He said, Mother, I challenge you in front of the children. That had the church supposed to stand up. The church supposed to challenge the government. But you won't believe it. You got members in the churches who children on drugs. You get pastors. That's what I see now. I'm not praying for it. But if the pastor children start taking drugs, they will get serious. Brother, all over Liberia, so drugs. Go to the gold mine. The people use drugs to take our resources. The government can say they don't know what's happening. They can say they don't know what's happening at the very gold mines. But somebody will come and get somebody a piece of diamond. And they carry 10 pieces of diamond. And they use the gas and get them drugs to work. You go to the way they're exploiting the gold, the diamond, the way our resources going. Brother, when you go there, you will cry, Mr. So. Deep things happening in Liberia.
Now you
so how who will stand up?
Yeah.
If the church not standing up, who will stand up when the parents not standing up, the community not standing up? I'm not expecting the government officials to stand. Patrick Sulu will never stand. The boy to the police station will never stand. Because when you just walk down behind the police station, right there, the busse color, they got about 10, 15 ghettos right there. And they pass by there every day. They will never stand. But if the community can stand, and you myself stand, Liberia will be free out of drugs. Thomas Father will never stand. Darren Zero can never. Every day I read on his page, do something about drugs. Do something. And those are close to me. Some of my children, the task force, they will not vote for them. You know, the Thomas Father, because they finish telling me, they say, Mother, we're not voting for them. Some of them will not vote because they're not doing anything. He in a seat now to do something. He's sitting down there. He can bust ghetto if he wants to. And nobody will stop him. But the wickedness, we are wicked to ourselves. Parents are crying.
Is it too late?
It's not too late because they still got some of us. It's not too late because they still got some of us that are waiting to work after this government leaves. That my prayer that they will not continue. You know yet the kind of prayer to take somebody shopping from the mall. That's my prayer.
Mrs. Wilson.
I pray that they will not continue. Yeah, God put the red leaders there. They will not continue. That's my prayer. People crying too much in Liberia.
Mrs. Wilson.
Yes, sir.
People are listening, and the problem is still ongoing. And it seems that you have a lot that you can offer. Why would you want to wait the government to leave? You don't know when the government is leaving. Are you willing to reach out to the president and other authority? Hey, I have done this. I have worked with these people. I have gone through a lot of trainings. There's a way to address these issues here. Why can't you do that?
I am just an individual. If you have a team, you settle a team at LCCC, where you have UNICEF, you have a Ministry of Health, you have UNDP, you got some of us from local NGO, and we went there for days. And you settle, we did a strategic document, and we handed the document where you law frame everything, budget attached, and you didn't do anything. Were you and everybody? As an individual, Mr. Sawyer, what I do? Your website, we should put the paper together. Everybody sat on there, the boss man sat on there, everything. He can put a hat on to look at or encourage us. And today I can't hear nothing. So what can I do? If you can work with a team, can you work with an individual? Because all the people have their expertise. They know what to do. They have strategies. They can implement. We did quarterly plan. We did everything. Yearly plan. And nothing was implemented. So what can we do? I'm just an individual who will give me access to the president. The first incident they see you there, they will say you're going big. The first day Lord brought today got my brochure. One of my friends, one of her top security, she said, bring the brochure and let me show it to her. I carried her brochure to foreign ministry. I stood there again, make sure she handed the brochure to her. She will never call me today. She got my brochure. She never called me today. The people not interested, Mr. So. They're not interested. I said, nobody in the government have won rehabilitation. If they're saying it, they're only saying it to get votes, but they are not interested. Go on Broad Street. See the children that have been loading car 5 years ago, they are still there. Go to the graveyard and see people lying down in cemeteries. You call it developing country? The infrastructure that you say you put in on, who will benefit? When you got a whole generation going down, they drink on drugs. Who will benefit? Look at JFK. Who will benefit? They got hospitals waiting to get things. But what kind of government official will come here? I came and I visited one of the representatives office and we had a dialogue. And I see her best. I did a presentation to Washington, D.C. 2016. And we're trying to see. But I will tell them for free that the government is not interested in rehabilitation. Or else you will start the first building, get some kind of 20-acre farmland. I went to direct FP, they were waiting to give me tools. Where will I store the tools when I don't have the structure up? They say carry, I said I can't carry because I work with them. I was a coordinator during the Ebola project in West Point. I fed the people through the FP program with Red Cross, so they got respect for me. They said carry the tools. What will I do with the tools? The children will steal the tools because I don't have storehouse. They couldn't help me to put the first building up when I already have 4,000 black and somebody donated all the zinc. And it's in Mecca and other people are willing to help me. But when somebody said they rub in your stomach, what will you do? You rub in your back, you can't rub your stomach. Government not showing no interest. I wanted to go quick. I sent my angel to carry them quick so we can get real people to help Liberia.
Are you still willing to go? If there was a turning point right now as we speak, who knows? You never know. Somebody could listen. There could be a divine intervention. And somebody like, oh, you know what? Somebody seems to get the importance of this, that the future of today's of Liberia is going down the drain, like you said. And there was some sort of quick divine intervention. Are you still willing to do to give back?
You just speaking like what I wrote. You said divine intervention. I said I will not vote for heartless people who will only use drugs fitting or prostitute when they want power and drugs. Those are in the running behind them need deliverance. Where in the Western world people will re-elect or vote for leaders who keep them in bondage or in tears. Then I said Liberians need divine intervention and deliverance. Forget about the bishops, forget about the pastors. They don't have time for rural areas or those less privileged and vulnerable. I'm a pastor, but my school of thought is different. My level of discipline and upbringing and international experience is different. I will tell you, if we get a government that get a heart for people, ever since Darren's here, when I was in the States, when I came to almost a year plus now, I heard that Darren visited the States and he talked about rehabilitation. People here waiting to help. I just stood like an ordinary woman, me and my husband, my children, and few friends. And today we were making impact with courageous people. So you want to tell me whole senator, if Darren couldn't carry one container with even mattresses, and people here, you go in people's basement. Mr. So just now, if I say I want container, I will carry container. I will go to you, I show you my proposal, you will loan your basement, you give me something. I will go to the other brother, you will give me something. The last time when I went, I carried almost half container. Enough for our beneficiaries at Christmas. What Dara is doing. So you know how people in government with interest. I have worked in government for 9 years. I work with NGO for over 8-9 years. I'm telling you for free. Nobody interested in rehabilitation. Except God sent all deliverance. Except God sent all people with their hearts. Maggie, Tomo Farah, these guys into general ministry there. Do you see the law firm? Do you see the kind of work we did when we're doing protection? Who show you interest? Who can do general ministry now to go in the village to work? Tell you, Bible, Bimble, car play. No villages I will work in, or in grandchildren. Who from general ministry can make a sacrifice? In the email, everybody go to job, we are how to clap for him. That's why you call government? I see government. I see government.
What is really troubling to me, all of our lawmakers, both from the government, for the opposition, those days during the turmoil and even do time and all of that, it's just amazing. These people, they have the people to call them their supporters. They're doing public relations. I don't know that real public relations or entertainment, because it's different from being doing entertainment or being a public relations or being a media person. I have never seen one day. Probably it happened behind the scene. I don't know that even our lawmakers, senators, representatives, these people, when they always in and out. Not one day they come here to go to fabulous basement party. I would never see one day for these people to make friends with even a certain or certain mayor, not to mention representative or senator. So how do you think your country will be connected? The only calls on these people when there's a problem is say international community. You think the people stupid? You come here, you party, you do live Facebook, and you can't even those people that support them. That were like all of these people that acting like chicken without hair. I will not make. I'm in Rhode Island here. My congressman, I don't have to go through bureaucracy. I interviewed David Cicilline before, who was a congressman, and he was quite poor. What the police officer makes in Liberia as compared to what their people, the lawmakers, as compared to what they make here. He and Adam Kissinger of Illinois. None of these people that are always in and out here, that will come one day and have that sort of conversation to make friends, to even invite these people here. So how do you think how do you think the networking going to be? But yet they have all their campaign people, give them the big titles, but they are unable to even establish contact in their various cities that one of these days, when these lawmakers come for them to say to them. So how do they expect our country? That's not how those boys, those days, the top boys are during the time, or even Samuel who was a military president, that as we have an advanced networking system now. Why are they not doing that?
Because they don't have the passion. They don't love their people. Simple as that. How I got the 4,000 black, how I got all the things, how we started feeding the people like every other day. Somebody will see you and they say, oh, I started cooking to the graveyard. When you go on the page, you will see. I started carrying food from my house, half bacon of rice, chicken. I would sit in the graveyard and cook. No, the children will jack your bed. When I walk in the home, my bed. They buy once, enter my house 2 times, carry my 2 laptops. The first one I bought, the second one they carry. But some of them will go and show me. They say, as soon as some person carry, but by the time I go, they already gone to Allah, already gone. But they will tell me, they say, oh man, we can't do it to you. That so person, the person here came from the other era, and I then bought your house. But I will tell you that no guys today, if at all you get feeding for your people, you know when those children walking behind that can cry. Thomas father now he dashing money. The money you dashing, you can't pay 1 cent and keep the children there all the drugs. You know you get the children money, they are addicted, they will go and take drugs. What kind of job veteran will hold money and not take drugs after they are not going through rehabilitation? And they dashing all money, they say the children will vote for them. And the same money you giving the poor, they're going back in the ghetto. And the men in the ghetto, the drug dealer coming back to pay respect to you. That's a game they play. I will never go to them again. Because we suffer too much in LCRC. They work for us. They lie to us. We work like crazy people. The only thing we're getting, so that LCRC will send for lunch for us. What they did with our proposal, what they did with the document, what they did with the pictures, they are not interested. Every one of that went over there.
What these organizations? I am surprised about the women groups as well in Liberia. Lima, you see this Lima Bowie, and I would sound so a little bit ridiculous here because but very few people have told me, the people that I've talked to, the only person that is really pushing the women agenda is Mandela Kopo. But you have Lima Bowie is based in, and I know somebody say, but this is where the intervention comes in, the empowerment of women. Even Helen Johnson Sirleaf is there. This is I just received this here, and this release going to come out here from one of the female Kennedy. I had the privilege to interview her, but she wrote a very painful letter here to getting out of the race. You're going to be it, and I'm going to read it. Honorable Director Brown Lassana Chair to National Election Commission, letter of candidate withdrawal. Dear Honorable Brown, I present greetings to you. Elections is not an event, but a process. As such, all the process leading to the conduct of the elections must be transparent. In the absence of such a situation, no election can be conducted credibly. My observations of this current electoral process has convinced me that the transparent level surrounding the process leading to the conduct of the pending senatorial elections has failed me to meet the level of international standards. Accordingly, I cannot participate in a process to legitimize an outcome that is predetermined in the interest of peace and democracy in our country. I have decided to withdraw my participation in this process as senatorial candidate for Montserrat County. Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to remind you that the peace and stability of our country rest fully in your hands. Please remember that election is a bridge between peace and chaos. Sansiat Jemint Tanapolit, I had an opportunity to interview her here. She was a young time representing Tanapolit daughter. And I talked to most of these people here, yet we see some of these prominent women. The people play the sort of race card here. They support one another. That's not the case. You either must sleep with somebody in order to get some sort of elevation to even something you. But I see people here crazy going nuts. They're raising money here, which itself is a violation of the election law. Nobody knows who's giving the money. Whether you must be a qualified voter. That's not every American here I give. Before you even give, we contributed to our campaign here, but you must be a citizen. There is a set criteria. But these people claim to have to be transparent. They're raising money all over the place. They're carrying it. Nobody will come to tell us to say, oh, this is how much we raise. This is how much we give. But you have women who also fighting hard to make their voices to be heard. And you have these Lima Bowie and all of these prominent people. They are unable to even support their fellow women to get to state power. How can we have a balance of power? How can we have the woman to be involved? Women has been the victims, the rape. All of these things are going on, but yet and still, Helen Johnson Sirleaf is there. So the men will continue to be dominant into the political process of Liberia. It's powerful.
Yeah, Nima Bowie knows me personally. Our camp manager in Chatono, she was with a trauma needing program. She knows me personally, and she know how the women lie on the ground for her, how they went hungry days, and she reached to the place of self-actualization. She reached to the place of prominence. Nima knows me well.
You get a bit. Tomorrow you want to tell me say you'll be president, you're making investment. I know there are a lot of bad things in the government, but you have to step up to the task. Let people let it be evidence, if not even necessarily you, but you have to elevate other people. The only person, most of these, they have, I think, pretty close to 20 women all over that are contestants in this whole thing here. And when you talk to them, the narrative they're saying, the only person who they talk about so far, and I hope to bring her here, is Mandela Kopo, who is helping to get these women. But reading this sort of letter, and some of these people have been the rise, they are being dated because they were part of a political party and they left. And if they continue, X, Y, Z going to happen. This is not what a country is supposed to be like.
When I heard it, I laughed. The reason why I laugh, they say when you enter the town, before you go to the creek, ask for the town chief to help you. She coming in politics. Who appointed the head for election commission? Everywhere in Liberia, you find seditions all over, and they dare to pay homage to Georgia. You come into politics, you tell to be transparent, you got to be strong. In this government, I said, I don't got to fast and pray. In this government now, when the president will go and put one person here or he said that my mayor, and put the other person here or say you vote for the person, then you expect to have transparency, Mr. Sawyer? Those days when we were running student council government, when you for the person, I don't know if you know my sister Chestnut Buya, she was one of the strong girls in Cynthia looking and in Tottenham her. Those days in the 80s. I tell you that when you say you for the Kennedy in high school, you for the Kennedy, you get your click, you're moving to that person can win. And who there? The principal was there to coordinate and make sure there is no confusion till after you get your student council president. But in this government, the president, the one pushing Thomas father, or on the picture, you got the president. So if you there running to be represented and the person that in power say for the person, it takes the grace of God to make you win. And who appointed the election commissioner? Who they paying report to? Who they paying? Who they giving a report? How do they meet in the night to strategize and discuss with the president? So you got to really make impact in your community to win. I don't know whether she's running on her power glory or she has the community at heart or what she have done. I have not seen her level of work. I can't criticize her. But on a serious note, before you challenge government, let me say I won't be representing in Broadway. I will win. I will win. Whether they like it or not, I will win. No boys that after the gray eye, low will run my campaign. The parents and who children that we carry to church and today they change. They will stand for me and say, yeah, they will more yes, will do something. With all me, just a mother or ordinary person passing around. If we can buy land and get blacks, and my husband, just ordinary people just passing. If we say we can build rehabilitation center, then you won't put me there. But I'm not interested now. The people not ready. Look in government. They're not ready at all, Mr. So. Go in the villages, go in the town, you cry. How many cleaners? Who can leave government and say, yeah, I'll be the cleaner in the village? They're not interested on a serious note. They are enriching themselves. But sad to say that the prayer of the poor, the prayer of the less fortunate, according to Proverbs, say when the wicked are in authority, the people groom. And while they are grooming, Mr. Swo, God will hear the prayers. I tell you, all the riches they gather in, take it or leave it. When they deep power, you're not seeing.
Mrs. Watson, are you still
and we're happy again. Whatever they gathering from the sweat and the tears of Liberian people, when they leave power, we're not seeing. We said it before, people challenge us. Today, I'm seeing it again. Those who got the people in tears when they deep power will not see the riches. Those who are honestly working, they will benefit. Liberians are in
the interest of our country. Are you still willing to make some recommendations, regardless of what is ongoing? Because, like you said, not this government. I don't know when this government will be hearing from them whether it is true or not. The electors, they're going to decide. They are here for 6 years. I don't know. It could be. It's not me. First and foremost, I don't trust the Liberian electorates. This started when the war came, and the BBC journalist, this is what he made. When the Liberian people start thinking, you killed my pa, you killed my ma, I will vote for you. And this journalist said, Liberia is heading like a vessel with unknown technician. If you are on a vessel and you don't know that they have a technician, so that was a long-term projection that they were talking because of out of ignorance. And the opposition, the people that talk for the government, they don't say the same way. When the opposition person, the only one person that so far sometimes I listen to and can really make sense when he's talking is Randy Dapo. He tries to articulate the agenda of the propos. The government came into being with what they call agenda. Whether it's being articulated properly, that's a different thing. But he tries to follow the model. But when you listen to opposition, you listen to all of the other sedition people, they take 1 hour or 1 hour, 30 minutes of their short time to talk about Darrell Dillon. He's not graduate, he's this and that. When it comes to the opposition title, they take 1 hour, 30 minutes of their time that George Weah is wearing this shoe and he's doing this, he's doing that. So what time do you have to convince the electorate, to sell your candidate, to tell the uniqueness of your candidate, the alternative that your candidate is bringing? So everybody is behaving the same way. So this is why the country is going the way it's going. People only want to hear things. They are interested in things that they want to hear. They don't like to be told the truth. If you say it today, when they not like it, you've been labeled, there's a stigma you either a hip position or your opposition or your government agent. But it is ridiculous. We are not getting substantive conversations about our country. What makes Alexander Cumming to be the alternative? What makes George Weah to be the? I have not heard any of that from any of them. All that I'm hearing is blame game. Oh, the other person did it that time, we're doing it and now you want to. It doesn't make sense. It's been complete stupidness. This is why the country is derailing, and this is why the country it is where it is. Because if you can't establish that connection, if you can't create that sort of talking point, that even if I was seditions, you're talking to me, that I might be able to give you an ear. It's not happening. Politics is all about bigotry now. People get there, they curse, they do this. Women all cursing, everybody. I listened to another group today in Liberia. It is just unbelievable to see why it's happening. Very unbelievable. And there's no indication, as far as I'm concerned, that we are going to get out of it. Even when George Weah leaves today, because other folks who are seeking state power, they are not also setting the tone. They are not moving aggressively. Most of them, they are all too corrupt. They are dishonest. They are not clean. That they are not transparent.
That's what we say.
Very people embedded within them. How can you are rogue or criminal upon criminal and you say you want to change the system? It doesn't work that way. So we are in a very volatile situation, and that's why people don't take us seriously. And all when small things happen, I do not believe in the process of this election that is going. I strongly feel yesterday and today the framework is not conducive. There are a lot of things supposed to be set up. We gave a commentary to that with the African Star newspaper. Here, people being killed. No answer. People are missing. Nobody. Where are the advocacy people? Where are the politicians? But guess what? Everybody now moving here and there. They want state power. But tomorrow, let them go to the election. I think I gave this lady a credit for the state mayor. Whether she has the resources to execute a campaign, that's a different ball game. But she laid out the reason why she is not going, because she doesn't want to validate something. So I'm waiting to see. People still have apprehension of this process, but they are going inside. So tomorrow, if they win, they validate the result, or when they lose that one, they will come back to say the election is not fair. Where are we heading?
That one, I can't even waste my time. People came to me, one or two friends came to me. The late my Butu Yima and Yiba, I know him personally. My first son father is his sister son, a nephew. We were beyond Gibson. They were in UL. We used to come eat together. I know him. I'm still crying for my Butu Yima, my Butu Yima. But I tell you that if you are educated and you are focused and you have international training and you really experience, if you go in the government or where you will cry, you can get 10 corrupt people around you who they want to grab and go. And you say they're putting down rules and regulations, another way, you end up committing suicide or something else will happen. That's why today we can get real information from the auditors. The children were trained. They got an education. They were sound people. So they couldn't go do the wrong thing. So now, even if you go and say you're going to create awareness, or you go in there, somebody will say, oh, the gender ministry now, I go say, oh, that the old people that are doing gender thing, they can't for our job, oh. They man, ever since they've been working, they are time to chop, they can't for our job. And that's what happened in Liberia. They don't want no experienced person. They don't want no experienced person. They want somebody in the even you go to job we are say, give me the one, or you how you going, you explain it, he clap for you, you clap for him the next day. And I pray that we have much to put in the eyes.
Is he the overall problem of Liberia? Is that how you see it, George, President Weah?
It started before Weah came. You think hearing the late president and the former president, they didn't know? Why she put George Weah in a position? George Weah won election clear 2 times. It was clear. My mom said voted for him, my late mother. Everybody thought because he was going to refugee camp and showing kindness to people, you are going to do better. Who said the people they didn't know? How were you gay? Your first grade student, now grade wire and sent to take. How will you get your little daughter 5-year-old 12th grade test to take? You think Joe we can handle Liberia? We saw it coming, we said it, we argued about it when you held the Palava Hall, we talked about it to my friend against her, and today they say not crying. Why you crying? We told you.
Do you hold the politicians responsible? Because
what is so? We said it.
Do you hold the politicians responsible? Because if they
Not the politicians, the church too.
No, I understand, because the people who are seeking state power, I also had that apprehension, to be honest, because following the history. But I think the last election sort of produced some sort of dynamics aimed at the Liberian people were fellow, and so they felt that he was one of them, and all of the tough questions wasn't asked, but people look on the visual on the outside and say, okay, because politicians too, they have disappointed us. And so this is the guy who would be like us. So by and large, we all are responsible, whatever is going on directly or indirectly. We sit down here, we persuade to vote, we tell people do this without even asking all of the tough questions. When I have my candidate question, they say, oh, that question I asking that either opposition question or that maybe government agent question. But we make our judgment on very minimal things that we do, just little that we know. I would say, yeah, this is okay.
One of my friends was talking. She said, "Sis Chris is sweet for them." Somebody sent to send her $50. She said, "Well, when I brother must say Joe, we are no Joe, we are that the president." She said it's sweet, and now they're crying. I said, "No,
1 second. Okay. You know what? This network here, I'm gonna Wilson Cooper. I'm gonna get you off here, and you will not have access to you have the right to call in here to critique what you said, but to use, we don't just use any kind of word here. I don't take stupidness when I'm on this network for you to insult my guest. That's a disrespect, and that's how people make some stupid decision that get our country that it is what it is. So that I'm getting you all up here. You seems to be the real dumb. Let me just get you out of here. That's how you don't want to learn. Just sit down and just you make a judgment here. And I'm going to be opening the line here to take few calls and talk about Mambutu. By the way, Mambutu is a brother to me.
Wow.
Mambutu, Peter Kambe, and all of those people. When you talk to Peter Kambe, just say multifold. When you talk to Mara, just say multifold. So what I say is a lot small war. I formerly was in team H. When Mambutu moved to Monrovia, by the way, by the grace of God, coming week he will be laid to rest. Mambutu gave me to be what I'm doing today. So Mambutu and I lie in the same bed when he left Bishop. I moved to Monrovia, Stephen Tower Estate, house number BC 63.
Wow.
That's the house Mambutu in that we all live in. Even at that time, he was in his student activity or in the junior high from third year. So Mambutu is of me.
Recently, all of them. Maya story, you know, the whole crew.
Wow. Yeah. When he left to Water Seaward with Amon Clay started when he was from LPRC. So just talk to the old man. It's a difficult task. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. But let me just put this line here. Line up here, but I think you can still help. I think it is about your country, regardless who is there. I'm quite sure, and I know when somebody knows something and try to do it or to help, and people are not giving way, or when things not moving the way it's moving, then it's a problem. That's why I don't believe in these political parties in Liberia. They don't argue on substance. They are not critical thinkers. One, they for you. Even if you do say the wrong way, they will not have the guts to say, yes, chief, even though I support you, but this is a wrong decision. I've never seen anybody stand up to their leaders.
How they abusing some of us to do, because we're not about to. We can't see we can't see the wrong thing and journey. No, we suffer too much, man. We went to school, we suffer in the 80s to get our education. We went through the war, we suffer from village to village. I can't sit down and praise see the wrong thing doing and I don't talk it. The reason why I came on the show, because I know that you are really doing your best and you are straightforward. But most of the program, our own custom show before.
And my late brother, I consider he respect my views, my opinion. I don't agree with him. I critique him. I will be doing a special. There are some friends who really knows him, who work with him. I did an interview with him, and I know the kind of man he was. But it is what it is. We're not going to, it's a certain. Let me put this number out, 682-433. Wait a minute. How can 433-8802? Yeah. Okay. Let me just put this number out here. Let me create a little space in it. How do I edit this? Okay. All right, folks, let me just put that number there. Let me put a number, pin it down here for you to those who want to call. 682. I think most of you familiar with this number here, 433-88. In the meantime, let me just give her this a little bit gospel music here. I think that's the only thing I like to play. Yeah, because I mean, sometimes when you think about what's going, when you think about.
I only listen to gospel music myself, because when you look at what's going around you now.
All right, folks, I'm going to be pinning the number there. That's the sound of Monique, a gospel artist from Nigeria.
Jesus, now you there and know.
You be Baba, oh.
There is nobody like you.
You be Baba, oh.
And so it's salute.
You be Baba, oh.
Daddy, no one like you.
You be Baba, oh.
Oh, yeah, never male.
Ibera, oh.
Apala ko sole ayero.
Nashoka, oh.
This thing you can do.
Ibera, oh.
All right, let me bring caller here, a veteran journalist. This is somebody who has made this prediction here. So anytime I see his call, I get a heartbeat journalist and evangelist. Gerald Cummings is on the line here from the oilfield era. Brother Cummings.
Yes, sir. So, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you, my dear brother?
By the grace of God, I'm doing okay, and I want to say good afternoon to your tough talking guests.
Okay, so Cummings, anytime when we're talking this thing and I see your call coming through, it gives me a high beat, because on day one from 2007, you kind of made these sort of predictions, some of the things that we're going to experience and what are going to be happening. So when anytime I see your call coming, I'm like, oh, this guy told me, and I was Mr. Dalton Thomas, but here we are now. Things are happening. You listen to this to the lady. What's your reaction? Do you have a question for her?
I just called to commend her and to say thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank
you. Every time I hear our sisters, our mothers stand up like this to speak, it reminds me of Esther in the Bible. When Esther appeared at the banquet with the king, she said, I can't sit here to see my people be annihilated, be killed, and sold as slaves. And the king asked her, but who is this adversary? And she said, it is this wicked Haman. So she made my day today, and she also buttressed Mr. Soul, Maton Bly. About 4 years ago, Maton Bly and myself did an exclusive. Maton said, Jerome, mark my word. The group will be dealing with are not only the ex-combatants. The proliferation of ghettos in our country will be another serious problem in this country. And Maton was right. And our sister is saying the same thing. The church that's supposed to be playing a pivotal role, they sit there. They sit there. The people who come in from their churches are their sons. Their sons and daughters are the ones in those ghettos dying. Not only people who I see people in those ghettos, Mr. Soul. People who went to school, who graduated from colleges, universities. The drugs in our country now is like, every time I see this thing about the drugs, it reminds me of what Jesus, the encounter that Jesus had with this demon-possessed man in the book of Mark chapter 5. Jesus was casting them out. They said, no.
Mm-hmm.
Reason why they wanted to be in the peace, because they wanted to stay in the community. When Jesus leaves, they will come back and possess somebody.
Okay.
So every attempt to close down the ghettos in our country, the police will only put up this charade. The drug enforcement agency will only put up this charade. How can you even make a blood boy who have no security knowledge, who have not even worked in that sector to making the drug enforcement boss? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Somebody who don't even have the training. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hold on. I think we'll take it on here. Let me get 2 callers here quick. Let them make their quick point. And then before I go back to my guest here, just hold on to your piece here. 267 number 547 now. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, hello, my name is Hannah, calling from Texas.
Good afternoon. How are you? Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
My point is not a question per se. It's the comment the sister in studio.
Mm-hmm.
We're all here. We have this big disappointment. Like, I left Liberia when I was like 8 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old. And I've been away. And my thing is, I wasn't brought up in Liberia, but I know Liberia is my country and I want to go back.
Right.
I'm here. I'm married now with 2 children.
Oh, good.
And every time I want to go back and watching these things, what I see on the social media is hearing people talking. It discouraged me a lot because I don't want to stay here. And the little memories that I have of Liberia, it was good. Even though it was in a war, but it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that with people like her, we can get back there again. I know it's tough when people are used to wrong thing and is a part of them.
Right.
It's very hard to get it out of them. That is not going to be an easy task. But I don't think it should kind of make us feel weary of trying. The least we can do as Liberians, we're trying and we should keep doing it. And for her, like, everything she said is right. Like, when you try to tell the truth, everybody will come after you because you're not saying what they want to hear about their candidate or
exactly.
their president. And it's really frustrating because even the ones that are suffering the least in the ghetto, they will come after you. There was a start of like
the one that need resurrection right there. Oh, you're talking for them and they're coming back.
They will come inside, like, and you sit there and be like, okay, if it was for the one person, I would just leave everything. But there are a lot of people that need help, that need the help, and that's not like that. So I just want to commend her and like, if God lead her to do whatever they say that you want to do, want to run and stuff, don't be worried. He that led you to do it, he will be with you and you will be successful, regardless of what the rest are there doing.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure, and we're praying to God that it will change, like we will get better, and we will see it in our lifetime by the grace of God.
All right. Wow.
Amen.
So what a good time. I think you brought a good relief to us. I want to be coming to you, Mrs. Wilson, to respond. Thank you so much. And you just right for you talk like my little niece, who came here was from Katuria, was like a little 12 years now, but she's doing her doctorate degree now. She's nice. And when they are friends from Nigeria, other places, I'm not saying everything about those countries bad, but the kind of conversations we are keeping, we as a Liberian, it all helps to get us into this ditch. Nobody is people only willing to hear things that they feel comfortable with. That's why. Let me just talk on my quote and start crossing Edna. You will see. And then woman, the thing about Edna is so the world has turned so significantly. And everybody, men, women, push on, push on. What kind of war we live in today?
It's
terrible.
It's terrible.
All right. Well, we can't give up. We keep talking this thing here. Let me go to this number here. When we get in with IV and Tylenol ticket, the next day we come and talk. And we will talk about it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. And thank you. 267 number. Are you there? No, 703 number 2595. And I'll go to comments and go back to my guest. 703. Are you there?
Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah. Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is James. I'm calling from Virginia.
All right, James. Thank you for being part of the program. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah. I have a question for your guest.
Okay.
Yeah. But before I ask my question, I know she was outlining a whole lot of things that she and the president went through high school days and what have you. And well, I mean, she entitled to express us that.
Right.
But my question here is that she talks about you asked her. I think you asked her the same question, but I didn't get because she don't like. Obviously, she probably don't like the current president. Okay, but is that what going to stop her to carry on whatever project that she want to undertake in Liberia? Because I mean, you can't base when President Weah was playing soccer and making millions of dollars and helping some Liberian people. He didn't care who were in power that who were the president of the country. And he was not basing his help based on whosoever in government. He was just doing it for out of free will. So my question to her is that because she don't like President Weah, is that why she don't want to carry on it? But she will wait till the president leave before she can go and help the Liberian people.
So James.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Let's get a question here. Let's get it in place here. Are you asking whether she doesn't like the president? Are you having an apprehension, or you want to know because I asked him another question, but I want to get the structure of your question well so that she will have the opportunity to respond.
Yeah, I mean, you ask her, are you not going, because saying you ask her if because she knows the president from way back, is she not going to make any effort to get back in touch with the president? And she said no. She said the president loved people to, I think, praise him.
Let me let her respond. Okay, let me not be let her here. Yeah, hold on. James, hold on. Let her respond, and I will come back to you if there's anything. Okay, Mrs. Wilson.
Yeah.
I do went around this row here, and that's almost similar question that I'm asking, but I'm sure you get the substance of the question.
Okay.
Is there
James,
so much?
Yeah, James. James. Hello, James. To be honest with you, if I can go sit in the cemeteries to cook for people, children that are deported from America, Europe, and innocent children who on drugs, who will not want to be friendly with the president? You said president. If I can welcome people in my yard, in my area, in my house, 20, 30 drugs dealer and drugs and sorry, victim and cook. You don't think I have that good heart? Who will not want to be friendly with the president? We are talking about policy. We are talking about how he's working. As an individual, I got no problem with him. Most of my classmates were him. Even the guy from one of our Kano, we said we're going to meet the classmates and go visit him, but I never went with them that day. The reason being that, brother, I am an individual. If you look at everybody that work with me, I'm qualified enough to hold any position in Georgia government. But I'm looking at a woman that up interior. I'm looking at a child that own drugs, that started taking drugs from 12 years old, from the time he been holding arm and praying for somebody to rehabilitate him, and nobody's showing concern. For every time we then I cry, because George wear shoes, George wear watches, George wear houses he building can be a very decent rehabilitation center. As an individual, to be honest with you, I don't hate George wear. God have mercy, I'm not being a Christian. If I can work with his wife and we come out and suffer 3 months, putting proposal together, strategies to build a rehabilitation center, and everything went in the dream. They went to chunk our people away. Do you expect me to go back?
Wow. Okay.
We gas, we suffer. We went LCBD, we work for almost 3 months, and nobody did anything. If you were in my shoes, you will go back.
That's a rhetorical question. Let me ask you. Maybe you will find an answer. So, James.
Yeah.
Okay. You got her right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But my question is he operating an NGO or something like that?
Who, she?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably came on a little bit late. Yeah, she had a group in Liberia, courageous. Let me see here. Yeah, even on her Facebook page, you will see. Yeah, you will see that courageous something. Let me ask.
People incorporated Liberia. You can get on Facebook, YouTube.
Okay, yeah.
Courageous people incorporated Liberia.
Courageous.
We just started, yeah, but we have made impact, and we still go back and do what God wants us to do for our people. So it's not about government. Everything that in 2016 I got was you, Liberians, and other people that put together to help help us with our project. Even the land that we bought, it was a widow that helped me to get it. The black was a foreigner.
Yeah, let me welcome our 5-star right here to Invincible 11 Kai Jabo. That the man, when he put one finger down, then the next shaking and stuff like that. These guys, what was Kai Jabo in Wellheston too?
Yeah, I need rings to go bed. I think Kai Jabo, you know, that Kai Jabo.
Yeah, he plays for.
He was goalkeeper. No, that people bust what the goalkeeper at the time.
Wells, I can't remember.
Yeah,
Kai.
Kai Jabo, I need rings. Yeah, I need rings.
Yeah, he's at Invincible 11.
I think I know him.
Yeah, okay. I try to recall here because I think you were with one of the schools. Okay, Pa George, are you there? Quickly before I go to Jero. Pa George?
I want to say, yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Okay, look, I want to say thank you to your special guest for her stance. And if we just have people like that in Liberia, women will make some progress. But however, we can't give up. But I got a personal question for her.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last time she said she was prefect for George Weah.
Yeah.
And I want to know from her. The George Weah that you knew in the late 80s is the same George Weah today that you see as person like Liberia.
Oh, the other man can start away again.
Don't say you were young.
Mr. So, I do not know George Weah. So, you know, when I talk about him, the people say, I don't like the man. And you know the full character is, I don't like the man. So, someone who knows this man as a Western character, that's why I'm asking.
Okay, let me go back to her. Let me go to her. Let her answer that question.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to lie. We're classmates. And you know how many hours people stay in school, right? We don't go there whole day. He was never my friend. Only one time he had party to your house and one of my friends carried me there. Yes. And we sat down, we talked and all of that. But on the serious note, he was never my friend. I don't have passion for football. And besides that, he had a clique. Like they got Felicia Nimlin, other guys, and I left football, you know, Sandra, Wardrobe, then all the guys, and they were around him because, you know, they left football, but I don't have passion for football.
Yeah.
But besides being in school, that 1 year we stayed as our head prefect in 9th grade, and that interaction with his shoes and the beating, he myself he got talk. Yeah, when you're ready, I'm not impressed. I don't move by people film. Even when he come, he dividing money. Everybody go in there. I don't go there. I believe working for myself. Yeah, I believe hard work.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kai Jabo. Yeah. I remember he was in one stunt. He said he graduated 19th It is far. That's my legendary Invincible 11 guy there. I wonder, these guys, they were all close also. Why? You know, they are, I don't know, but sometimes this is something very high to discuss. You see, and that's the difference. And when people, I had to inject into this when they're talking about this, Concord, this and that, because the essence of a relationship, people that are in class, people, your classmates, your schoolmates, you hang out together. There are a lot of things in common. Believe me or not, there must be that sort of connection should be there at all times. But again, it is where it is. African politics is different from that of here. Okay, so Pa George, you heard a question. Type 503 number 977. Are you there? 503 977. 503 977. Are you there?
Yeah, Mr. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, I'm hearing you. Go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mickey Esmano. I'm calling from Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for you for bringing our mother in the studio tonight or today. I really admire whatever she went through when I listened to her introduction. I said, really, because it's just once in a while you can find somebody like that in our community, and what experience is a blessing for us. I really.
So winner, my man, winner. You're quick. You're today. You admire her. The next time we bring her here, I know when she says something, you and I admire her. So where you admire her today?
You know why? Because when somebody am saying the same field, and I see them far ahead of me, I feel so blessed to get connected to them. I just want to, work our sister from Texas. I just spoke to the lady. Everything comes not easy.
Right.
Everything comes not easy. I'm a living witness of what I'm saying.
Okay.
I got my friend in Buffalo, New York. He is down very now in the Lutheran church in Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
In Nazareth Church. We were on a refugee camp. After we graduated from high school, we found out that the little kids, some of the children living with blind or grandmothers, blind or crippled grandparents. Some of them, they don't have the biological parent with them. So we fed for those children because how those blind people can survive and how they can provide for those kids. So we decided to connect to UNHCR or community service office so that we can be seeking assistance for those children. We help them because we know we live within the community, we know what we go through. So we were just in that process, and we were lucky to find a lady from the international or UN community from Norway.
All right. Tell us something quickly. We'll soon wrap up here.
Yeah, I'll just quick. So we went to the woman and show up and give her a proposal, and she recommended us that the UNHCR should go on salary and give us cars so that we can be doing border patrol in the first thing, so that we can be able to help those children and locate them. Why in the process? Because the office in Ivory Coast is dominated by social aversion. They start down all these things. Now we're saying, when the war broke out in Ivory Coast, they ran away and left us. The community-based acquisition, my brother and myself were handling. We were able to take care of the whole refugee camp. Anybody from refugee camp in Ivory Coast, they were very wasted. We were able to settle right there while we were in the midst of war, shelter our people, receive them, register them, do everything, document everybody that run the camp. When UNHCR run away after they came back, you know what they did? They started collecting to us. They started pouring salary. They started, responding to whatever we want. Because they found out that part of the refugees that the city was protecting, they ran away, and we take care of them until they came back. So anything that you do, there's a rough way. Don't be discouraged. It is a blessing that God gave you that desire to give back to your people. So whatever you're going through, it shouldn't control you from what you really have in mind. We went through the same route, we were able to be successful. Okay. So what happened if we were not there? Our people are going to be all in the bush. So I think she's a blessing for us. We should just encourage her to keep doing what she can do.
Oh no, yeah, I mean that's what we're saying, and that's the purpose of having these sort of civil conversations when something is and somebody is anybody can feed in that kind of way, but all we can do is to help to stabilize it. And Munant, yeah, you're quite correct. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see. Gerald, let me just go back to you, and then I have to go back to my guests for to wrap up for the day. Cummins, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I just want to say again, I extend my thanks and appreciation to your guest, and she shouldn't give on. It's gonna be a tough one, most especially dealing with the proliferation of drugs and young people fighting a drug addiction in our country. I hope they also use both the spiritual method too, as it relates to those young people. But I want to say thank you so much, my brother, and to my sister. Keep up the good work, and God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much, Gerald. Okay, Pa George, what's the final word? I want to go back to my guest and then the 703 number. Pa George, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's the final word quickly?
No, I just wanted to say thank you to your studio guests for coming in and throwing more light on what transpired and what is happening in Liberia. And I encourage her to do what she's doing. But, I always say this thing here. What happened in the past, it happened already. And we're trying to move forward. And this is why sometimes when we're asking the government and people tell us, why are we not talking about the past? We can't bring back the past again. It's the way forward. And that is why some people were telling them that, hey, the decision you're going to make tomorrow, you will live with it. And this is where we are now. But as a sister, her aunt, I just want to give her words of encouragement. That's the only thing we have. We have to continue to help our brothers and sisters, because if we wait for government, just forget it.
No, I think obviously we have our own part to play. Okay, all we need is like conducive atmosphere for people to operate. I think that would be better. I think that's the more concern, Okay, thank you so much.
That's the meeting. Yeah.
All right.
And today they say, yeah, thank you, sir. So,
all right. So 703, 30 seconds, quickly.
Yeah, thank you very much. My only recommendation I want to make is that, to your guest, is when President Weah were helping people around, he was not having issue with other people, regardless of who was president at that time. So my thing here is that let her,
so let me ask, James, right? Let me ask this question. Yeah, okay. Let's have a little bit of dialogue. Mrs. Wilson with Bella, and she can come in. This issue of help here. I still trying to find the root of it here. Was that based on this here type of humanitarian intervention? Was that enough for which we making decisions, not necessarily to President Weah? I come here today, maybe I add nice 1 or 2 times, and James is, Alfonso, he's a nice guy. And just a little bit, because it takes time to know people, and the way of doing things, handling administratively. You have to make some tough decisions. Be a friend decision, we must be friend. Do you think we really did our due diligence, or do we need to step further more? Should be a lesson learned with this sort of people helping and their way of leading people and all of that, bringing people together? Do we need to do it differently?
I mean, I don't think helping people is anything bad at all. You understand? I think it's the good thing, because that also shows that you have love and for your people and country. So when people have that type of mentality towards their people, I think it was from some of these backgrounds that Joshua were rewarded, because people thought, okay, because of that type of heart that he had, it will resonate to the presidency, he will try to help, and to a certain extent he can help. I'm not saying that the government is 100% trouble free, No, that's not my
I mean,
argument.
no human being is infallible. All of us have our own little bit.
But I think we should also give the government some credibility in terms of some of the things that we never saw before happening in our country is happening today.
Example,
we got a new residential hospital is under construction right now in Conway. Okay. And I saw those Douala. I still have picture of those old Douala market pictures. Okay. And now there's a new construction going to help our poor and people. I mean, like, bro. Yeah,
no, it's good. Give credit to whom is due. So, what do you think this government needs to improve on as well? What is your own disappointment? Every government has its own flaw. So, what is your own disappointment? Even if you support the president, we must also have the courage because he does listen to all of these conversations. We have to speak out honestly so that he would know. Because I tell you, I was in Liberia. I talked to most of these government officials, people, and it's not just from this George Weah government. The tendency of Liberian people is to appease their boss. Is to protect their job. They never get the guts to look in the eyes of their leader. Hey, chief, this one here, even though we can't talk in the crowd here, but I will give you a call. We need a fountain. This is not a good decision. You know, most of our people, they don't do that. So where do you think, let's pretend that the president is listening here this afternoon, which of course, most of the time he does follow our podcast. Where do you want to see him changing the narrative, to change this story, to reposition himself if there's a need?
Well, if there's a need, my first approach would be like, because I know he was trying to do what they call government of inclusion. He left some of the old alien officials in power, which did not turn out well for him, because some of them were there to undermine the government, and we stay seeing it. Something that he wanted to undertake, and there were some people, and people are leaking information from the government. All these things you hear.
No, man, the White House here, people leaking information from White House here with Donald Trump. You talking about that, right? What are you talking about? Leaking power from
I understand that, but this is not. This is not. He did it out of good with that thinking.
So
that
does that
speak
volume? Does that speak volume to him that something is not right? That he need to recalibrate, to kind of re-gear himself. You think so?
Of course. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so, and that need to happen. Yeah, he need to.
How soon?
He seems to be an easygoing guy, but I think this time around he need to put his boots on to get on some people next.
But you know what else with them? Okay, thank you so much. Let me go back to my guest. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. Madam Rosalie.
Yeah.
That is it. Okay. I want improvement. I want good infrastructure in the country. No doubt about that. But I think because I visited JFK, I met Dr. Brown at the time. I don't know whether he's still there. Wanted to have an interview to roll our cameras, but they said no, whatever reason it is. But when you go there, it's really bad. And it's not just only from George Weah, Helen Johnson Sirleaf. It's a disgrace. Like you said, that woman, there were a lot of pouring into financial contribution from the international community. And this is where the problem came from with most people, because she should have been audited. But when the audit comes, rings in the bell of the people, they just think that you have committed a worse crime. It's all about to verify and to check. That's all about it. But when you bring in audit, even in our own Liberian community, they not audit other president that I don't want to want audit. So it's kind of like, so this sort of pattern, it continues to be over and over. I think the structures that we have, if they are well updated, elevated, upgraded, and that will bring in new, then it will be okay. But anyway, we respect the views and opinions of the people. Let's wrap it up here so that we can have here some other days again. What is the most lesson learned here today?
Wow. I learned a whole lot, and I also want you, if the president is listening, and you have all Liberians listening, I will tell you, if at all you are in America, right here you're working, and you go back home, or you send your money home to be till the bedroom house, that you don't want to live in a group home, and you want to go back to stay. And after you have worked and carry a container furnish your home, how will you feel if you get 10 armed men coming to clear your house and rape your children? I'm not impressed by the infrastructure like the brother that just called just now. Just where I can build mansions all over Liberia. As much people are not being rehabilitated, those things will be looted. People will still go there with gun. You go right behind the fence, go to Penal Building, right to Douala Market, Douala Mansion there. They are manufacturing drugs now. Tell the police to go there and see if they brave to catch Solomon. They will not catch Solomon, Mr. Weir or President Weir. I start out to say that you have not done nothing for rehabilitation. Helen didn't do anything. Judy Bryan didn't do anything. I'm not angry with you. I'm not vexed. I'm telling you the fight. All around you there, you got ghettos right in your yard, all around, right around your yard there. You pass by them every morning. Police director knows very well what happening on Kerry Street, Buchanan Street, and all over to Edewe Junction in the graveyard. Nothing. You got thousands of young people. They put it in Kaya, they put it in cookies, and they carry it to the children campuses. And the drugs dealer, they are there. They have a network, and they give packages to people. We got information, and you know, verify it as the fact. People in America, they work well, where they go back home and they check their handbag. One other doctor was telling me, one other nurse, she said, "Sis Chris, one of your children carried my whole handbag with my phone. I had to pay almost 200 US to the drug, to the drug and dealer that how he because they go and report to the drug dealer to get them drugs." So I start by the afternoon to tell everybody that listening, including the churches. We started carrying the children to church because the people chat on the drugs. If you go on the drugs to taking the park, the old BP5 park, they got woman naked, butt naked standing there. And they get the drugs from Nigeria, Sierra Leone, all over. They bring the drug, they chant on the drugs and give it to the children. If you're taking it for a joke, there's a whole generation going down the drain. You got educated people. One other boy graduated from Cottington. The boy working with UNDP. If you look on my page, she dead. That boy went on drugs. We had to carry him to the church for deliverance. You taking it for a joke? And Joe, we have said he got his church. Because what happened? He doesn't want to listen to the truth. Pastors are going to him for envelope. The same thing Charles stayed on there. The same we're heading. You got the Masonic. You got the Eastern Star. You got all the people who say they in society. So you can't speak against your friend. I start about to say that we have a whole generation going down the train. If you are working today and you are not interested in rehabilitation, and we are not pressurizing the government, and the parents sitting down there, they cook, they eat cassava, the potato green, and you feel that nothing happening, tomorrow in your old age, and you can't get your children to represent Liberia or to take care of you, that's the time you will say one woman said it on our radio, LPR radio, or television. I've been crying my heart. We are trying our best, but I'm just an individual with my husband, a few friends, and 1 or 2 friends overseas that try to help us. The whole project now is at a standstill because when you go to government, they make fun all of you. They laugh at you. People drinking the beer. It's like we've been crying for the thing. We've been hungry so long. So let's exploit our own country. Mr. So it's like you looting your own house. Your children carrying the television and your wife carrying the pot to sell. You are harming yourself. That's what we're doing to Liberia. We are killing ourselves. John, we are knows. He came from the slum. We were born in born mines. We saw life. We enjoy life. My pa been working with company. We travel. We enjoy. You know where you came from. That's why really discouraging. This ball gap is lie down on the floor. 8 in one room. You lie down on the floor and God make you to be president. Why can't you go back and break those ghettos down? How long will it take a Patrick Sulu to take a task force and bust Douala and get Solomon and his brothers all of that place producing drugs and go to raid and get the other men from his compound? They know these things. I can list the ghettos. I can call the names of the drug dealer, but nobody will do anything, brother. I said on Costa Show. I said on EBS. I'm saying it today. Liberians, nobody cares. The church is not care. The parents don't care. Nobody cares. And after 10 years, you will call me back and say, "Sis Grace, you told me the thing. Liberia is now scattered." Go Ghana, people organize. I beg Ghana. You can hardly see drugs when they do it, they hard it. Where you Sierra Leone, they catch you with drugs. They beat you before they put you in jail. But in Liberia, you go on Broad Street just now, the children smoking. You go to another, they run the side was selling drugs. Everywhere you see sitting us up, hanging on the tree in Monrovia, that's a ghetto there in drug dealer. You got the people coming from Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberians, Fulanis, everybody selling drugs because they fast money. I'm crying for Liberia. I'm fasting. We'll go back, but not in the government. It's too painful for me. I've been in the graveyard. I've been all over. We got over 3,000 of those children are crying. I can't do it alone. After sitting in HBRC for 3 months, and we suffer like that, and he worked, they didn't do anything, and they took their money and did different things, I lose confidence in the government. I'm not interested.
Well, alcohol is not lost. We still there's second, third, fourth chances in everything. All we want to do is to keep having this sort of conversation, and we hope that our national leaders will listen to us, because the issue of drugs, the proliferations of drugs in the country, that history has been there, but it has intensified since the inception of the war, because most of these people, the child Sawyer, if you look at it, even in Sierra Leone, but there is a big and huge rehabilitation type program that is ongoing. It's been heavily sponsored by international organizations. Believe me, and a lot of lives has been transformed. So my own frustration with our own people, if I say own people, lawmakers that have the authority to produce piece of legislation, why is the National Rehabilitation Commission? And nobody yet to answer that question, because some of these people, when you call them, they are more selective. They know which network to go to, which network not to go to. Own friend Dara Dillon, because I remember the last time I was in Liberia after my brother Barry, I called in over early in the morning. I would go to a house. Bannersville area that to have an exclusive, which of course I still have the video here. But nowadays, the Elecumens and even the Sir Joseph, all of them, now and then when you call them, they see your message, they agree. But when they talk to other people, they say, oh no, maybe don't go there, because they anticipate questions that you want to ask. So why are these people not addressing institutions that are responsible for rehabilitation to demobilization? Why went on in Liberia? It's not a demobilization. UN is a business-oriented organization. They come money for gun. What they were doing, you know how many dollars they are getting in return when they give you $100 or $50 for gun? But the process of rebuilding the lives of our people so that they will be integrated into society, that wasn't done. That wasn't done. Every little child you're talking to now, they're standing out there like they're sleeping, that unnatural sleep because of the substance and the things that they take in. And when they take on these things, then it brings a lot of things to them. And that's why they are behaving the way they are behaving. It's not natural. And sometimes we get mad. But there is a root cause. There is a way that we can find to remedy. Because by just causing them, and people give them those sort of name, because that's why they wanted them to be, so that they will control them for the rest of their life and tell them, say, go so, because they don't make informed decision. And so I'm kind of unhappy the way our lawmakers, for them not to have these institutions that are responsible for the government, that are responsible agency, and then all of them are raising, some of them raising money, they want to build their own rehabilitation. Who does that? Look in this. I can't remember seeing my own Senator Jack Reed, David Cicilline, and all of these people here. They go out to find fundings for federal to help the state. If they have the other thing, they can do it. But that's not with our people. So it's so frustrating. And we keep talking this thing over and over and over, and there is no lesson learned. So this whole thing here, the bus stop with the leader, we know that, and we hope that the president will step up to the task, because when he takes some stringent measures, I don't know whatever statement that people should do their own security. My late daughter was talking about it's a child. And all she was crying for, oh, Papa, they carry my phone, my laptop. I can't do my signal. Are you serious? That phone, laptop you carry, you're crying for? It's right now. I don't want to stay here. So that fear is naturally in her, because insecurity is something, I know. Crazy people go around, because these people, if they can't get it, they want to get it by forcibly. And believe me, they take their iPhone or whatever now they take it, they go sell it for $50. All they're gonna do, they're not gonna even buy food to eat. That's the saddest thing about it. They go buy something to smoke and get high and add more health problem to themselves. It's just insane. So hopefully, I hope we have leaders, our people, that will take a second thought about the use of drugs in the country, and that these people will be well rehabilitated, so that they will be accepted in society. If you don't rehabilitate them, to reject them, where are you going to put them? You're not going to take them from Liberia and send them to Ghana or Sierra Leone. No. So it's a long-term struggle that we are in. It's the responsibility of all of us. Besides national government, we want to ask national government to take the lead, because if we don't do it, you take Barack Obama, now you've made him president, the crime rate will still go on, because you did not address the problem. The problem was just addressed on the surface. Man, I want to thank you so much for your time. We're looking forward to having you here anytime. Don't hesitate. And the next time, maybe we'll talk. Is your organization still working in Liberia? I know it's hard when you are not on ground to get these kind of things going. But
it's very hard, yeah, because I was on the front line, especially when talking to friends from this side. My husband is there. He's trying his best, but he too went all the time to work. The task force now, you can't really get them till you're there. But we got a few persons there creating awareness. We have the other lady there, one Alexandra Awodi. She's a very strong supporter, and she's already on ground trying her best. But for now, they are saying my daughter is not well. We came to the States. She was seriously sick, and we had to rush from Liberia to JF Ghana 2 months then, yeah. But we will go back, we will work. We're waiting. We still talking to sponsors to see. But I tell you for free, it's so discouraging that for every time you want to do something, nobody there to push you in that country. Nobody there. Nobody there to push. Only God, only a few friends were helping. So we try by all means. We stay trusting God to get a rehabilitation.
One of the things that they need to do, what is Liberia own businesses, those one are serious. I'm not just talking about any kind of jaja business, but those one are serious that have the track work record. That's why they do state, federal, they subsidize local NGO, because that's where the creation. Because when they give the ability to start doing sort of rehabilitation, once you meet the criteria, you will hire people and it will spread out through the country. And those same very people who are the victim, you bring into there and they're going to help their colleagues. They will even lead you the way. Oh, man, let's go to so play there. Not my friend there. And once they see that, that's where the intervention can be, because they feel secure when they see their own peers group involved.
That will be helping us.
So that's why we're going to pray. I hope to have
or drugs victim. That will be helping us. And most time when they create the awareness, when you go ahead of the ground, when you look at the picture, sometimes we gather to put 300, 200. And the last time they said the VP went to feed them on birthday, they jump on the food, scatter everything. And somebody asked me, but mother, how come the whole 5% they say Joel birthday, she wants to stay with the children for all the food? I say it's from the mind. That's not the food.
I'm not into this sort of short. People need to eat, but you eat today. You have to
talk to them, show them love. Not the food.
What? So I hope to have people like these people who are powerful, the Nyombi Kanga Lauren, the Darrell Dillon, the T5, T10. Those are people who will be available so that we can have. Maybe we need to have a debate, but they don't want to do it. So people preconceived mind already. People that are going to, in fact, before the president declared, they already finished telling you who they're going to vote for. And I think that's the sort of system we need to change in Liberia. People should elect people on their substance, on their platform, what they can do, what they can deliver. You don't just come and just talk off the cuff and just use part of parables and all sort of stuff. It's just annoying. I mean, the opposition too is sickening. They are not positioning themselves. They don't see them as an alternative. They do not have a good talking point. They are very disorganized. The lack of basic communication to persuade people. They're doing it no different than the government. So that's what the people. So the saying that says it's better to know the angel, the devil you have, than the angel that you have not seen. And that's why it's happening. Yeah. So if they do not take time, well, they're going to be like they're going to be the same way. But I want to thank you so much. And Liberia is our country. Let us just keep having this conversation. We need to have conversation with civility. If I'm a president, when you cost me, I will not sit down at the table with you. Who does that? You want somebody shoulder, then you say you want to, I'll throw you in the water. So until they can have some authority over the people that they think they are supporting them, and be tolerant, have that political tolerance, put all that they have on the table, for them to talk. It's easy. Going to negotiation is not an easy thing. Who wants to leave state power? And now what I blame them, they say CDC has taboo rule. I don't like that. These are so. But yeah, you have Solidarity Brigade group. I interviewed Barron's Brian the other day that they will kill, they will do this, they will go after people. You are opposition. You're looking for state power. You need to do it differently than what the government is doing. Then we'll validate your argument that yes, there's some sort of good governance into play. But guess what? They're having all of these brigades because one, maybe what is guy named the city mayor? Jefferson Koji, maybe from the ULE, he's city mayor. So when they come to them, one of them would be like another, I don't know, county superintendent or managing director. It's crazy.
That's why nobody interested. Where some people not interested in no opposition because they're not even organized.
Correct.
No, I go around them. I don't bother them. I don't bother them because I see nobody to letting job with our government because they're doing the same thing.
The Ellis Kumin, the Benana Bure, the Joseph Boyka, the other person, Nyombli Kanga, they need to stand up to also equally just how we chastise the government when it does it right. When they have their people who are not setting the tone for the better country, they need to come out. It's so this issue of this, yes, protest is good. It's part of our civil liberties. But when you do it to the extent that you do not have a set goal, that you do not want to deliver something, it's just all about to showcase, then you can people now get used to it. Like you're telling your own child in the house every day, you're beating the child. As soon as you talk with people or pepper tree behind the house, so the child can't even cry, the child can't even cough. That's what's happening now. They need to have some sort of strategic plan. They need to have some sort of strategic policy as we go into these elections, not just only the senatorial, but the presidential.
They just protest, no plan. They're not helping nobody.
Money,
everybody getting 15,000 US every month. They go, they keep it and build their mansions.
I saw some women group this morning. They say they're not supporting Darrell Dillon because of private key, and that was it's touching. I can't believe yesterday I listened to him. Look, you saw John McCain here. There was a person that batch of Barack Obama made a comment, and he went and removed that microphone. He said, "No, Obama is not like that." Or you have these people who sound so ridiculous, who does not realize something. I think better to have them as a super PAC, let them do better work, but to come out to validate the argument of some of these people, it just is a hair-scratching thing. Madam, thank you so much. I hope to have you here again.
Thank you too. I'm privileged.
What is a big lesson learned here today?
Thank you. Thank you.
When me I got it, I have searched all over the world and I found nobody like you. Better morning star, only you I serve. Every day I will pour my love on you.
Well, folks, that's how we're going to bring the curtain down here this event. All we are doing is to discuss the goodness of Liberia, the government, the opposition. There's a need that they put their acts together, man. Come on, folks. We have to pray for our nation. So no matter which side you find yourself, security comes first in every country, and it is paramount that they need to do everything possible. The elections are 18 more days to go. We hope and pray that there must be a good process, transparent process. Even though I have apprehensions, I'm just an individual. That's what I feel it is. I feel there are a lot of things not being done, and there must be a good outreach. Security is paramount with all what is unfolding in the country. But we will keep doing what we're doing. On Saturday evening, I'll be having Isaac Toga, the former chairman of the CDC, is going as an independent candidate. And then on Sunday, I'll be having the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, Councilor Serena Sifo. So we're going to be talking about the 3 missing boys, allegedly, alleging that they are in Monrovia, they are still alive. What is national government doing? We're going to be looking at the security as this, the election draws near. We had a conversation with the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, Councilor Frank Musa Dain, hopefully. But we're going to be having Serena Sifo here and going to be telling us the preparations or the maintenance of security as we get closer to this election. Serena Sifo is going to be my guest on Saturday evening at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Isaac Vatoga will be joining me from the West African state of Liberia, the city of Monrovia precisely. He's going as an independent candidate with his message resonate. These and many more are going to be our talking point moving forward, and we hope Lofa Julius reached out. We want to have some of these candidates for them to have a debate. We need to hear from them, but will they ever show up? And that's $1 million question. This is a sound sense or horns. It is a sound that introduces the program, and that's a sound that wraps up for the rest of the day. It's by Joseph Cade, Joseph Bass, and K Praise, Liberian gospel artist based in Liberia.
Hallelujah, give him the high praise. Hallelujah, give him the high praise. In the morning when I wake.
I want to thank all of our viewers, onliners, your comments, your tweet, your opinions, your observations. Please also in a bit to improve our broadcasting. And to also critique, don't hesitate. You can send your comment, inbox, and even have a poster. Whatever you're doing that you disagree with, have a poster as long as it's not profanity. It's not, you can disagree with me, and that's okay. As long as you're not causing my cause here, I guarantee you we're going to stay on this platform. We just want to put all on the table to be able to make an informed decision. This is a maroon coat. If you feel that it's blue or black, just do your chemical formulations and let me know that it is not maroon, and let me, bring me to that point of persuasion to persuade me. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what civilized society we claim to be in the 21st century. But we don't behave like we act like an ape man and ape woman if it is ever existing. Until we can exercise that tolerance to listen to one another, to respect people's view, for God's sake, even if we disagree with that person, and we start choking people of their comments, of their own beliefs, and listen to them. You can correct somebody if you listen to them and you argue on their own point or their own presentation. That's what people do. You want to school, there's a time you can do a presentation. The other can do it unless you're a group, you have your part to play. But we don't do it together. When the person is making their presentation, you listen, you jot down point. You put down your questions, your apprehension. And then after that presentation, you raise your finger and ask logical question, or you ask why you don't understand. But this habit of always labeling people, cursing, giving all sort of names, only people who like articulations, who like that sort of a dialogue, they always find themselves to do that. And that's one of the reasons I kill in our country. They emulate these examples from our politicians, from our national leaders. They do not have the guts to sit down one day to discuss national issue. Both the government and the opposition would draw the conclusion when I go to this person, they will not listen. How many times we have done this? No. We are all from different backgrounds, different society, different region. So our understanding is far beyond our own comprehension. But guess what? We have to engage the process. And when you sit around the table and put all down, and even ask your opponent to see whether they can be a contributor to your point and see where they differ, and see whether you're not going to get a result. Yes, the Republican to Democrat here sometimes is ugly, but they have a group. So you guys, only sedition friendly with sedition lawmaker, Liberty Party people from friendly with Liberty Party people lawmaker, LAP UP friendly with only UP lawmaker. So where is the consensus? The House is all about consensus building. It's the vote. You have to persuade people. You have to bring other people from the other side of the spectrum's political background. Because I don't care what happens, you're not going to get that only that number of people within your party to get the vote. So how do you think we're going to get the legislation to move our country forward? A Nyomli Kangalore can't talk to Sir Joseph can't talk to Kanga Lauren, Darrell Dillon can't talk to Akara Gray can't talk to this other person. Then how will we move forward? Yet these people, they prefer to be lawmakers. When they can't argue on policy issue, then that's not a country that we have. Then there will be no legacy, because the legacy will be the legislation, the act that you will create to say, oh, this is because of this so pressing, this is why the country is like this. This is why the institution has been to revamp. But that's not the case. Everybody for themselves. And we saw that to show that they are just there because they want to earn the salary, they want to get the salary, the bonuses. With all this insecurity thing going on, there was no emergency section ever called in the midst of people even being killed, this happening, that happening. Guess what? They were all there running campaign all over. Nobody get a guts to say, oh, we need to go back in session. Mr. Speaker called, we need to go back in session. This is a national crisis. This is a national issue. We need to address this ASAP. That was not the case. But I just feel bad because the ordinary Liberians are the victims. And because they just do not have the ability to either speak for themselves or to argue or think for themselves, our politicians take advantage of the ordinary people. At the end of the day, they are the victim and the politicians becomes the victor. But until we can have all of these sort of conversations, we will not give up. We will continue to engage the process. Liberia is our own. There's no place like a home. We have to do everything. We have to engage our government. We have to engage all actors into the political process and hold them that they will be held accountable, because whatever decision is made, it does have consequences, and that's why it says, and we have to do that. Until then, folks, I want to thank you so much for being part of this program. Let us keep praying for our country. Let us do the right thing. Have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Love is all we need to make it stay. This is the time to come together. Keep Liberia safe forever. So open up your heart and let the unity begin. Love is all we need to make